Om Ajnana Timmirandasya Jnananjana Shlakaya Chakshudam Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakabalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunathavitam Tam Shajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhavitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Didabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Bhargami Hari Priye Vancha Karpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Vaivacha Na Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktaminda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Samadharshi, please take the table behind. We don't want two people on one table, one person on one table because of the COVID. Yeah? Let's be safe. You can go on the table behind. Yeah, that's better. We don't want to squeeze up and then we have problems. Yeah? Hare Krishna. Yeah. You can open at least two windows. Yeah. So there was a little homework. I don't know how many of you attempted. At least 12 qualities of soul in Sanskrit and English. Yes, Madhu Shravan, did you do any?
Yes.
Okay, let's hear them.
Immutable.
Yes.
Indestructible.
Yes.
Nityam. Eternally. Avyakta. Invisible.
Okay.
Achintya.
Achintya. Yes.
Inconceivable.
Inconceivable. Yes.
Avikarya.
Avikarya. Unchangeable. Yes. Okay. Yes. Imperishable. Yes. That's all? Any others? No need to repeat the same ones. The ones which Madhushavan did not do.
Naturally doesn't take birth.
Yes.
Namriti doesn't die. Purana, the oldest.
Oldest, yes.
Then Hunt, they never kill.
Okay. Any left out? Yes, ma'am. Huh? Sarvagata. Yes. Huh? Yes. Adadyu. Yeah. Okay, I think we included all of them. Yes, Ashcharya. Ashcharya means amazing. Okay, now, which one was that? Puranat. Puranat means the oldest. Yeah? So all the qualities have been explained. Now you should know in Srimad Bhagavatam's 2nd chapter, there are about 8 sections. We have done 2 sections now. First section was Arjuna was like very confused, very despondent. But he did one good thing. What did Arjuna do?
He surrendered to Krishna.
Yes, he surrendered to Krishna. It means when we are in a difficult situation, in a confusion and puzzled state, we should always surrender to Krishna. If Krishna is not there, the Guru is there. If Guru is not there, Sadhu is there. If Sadhu is not there, Shastra is there. So we have three options: Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. And we finished the section of Atma, yeah? About what is spiritual soul, okay? Did we have a story of Chitraketu last time? We had, yeah? So you should remember the story of Chitraketu, yeah? What is the name of the boy? Anybody? What is the name of the boy? Harsashoka, yes. So remember Chitraketu? Harsashoka. And the two munis who were there, who came there? Narad Muni and Angira Muni. So these names, when you remember the story at once. And the finest example he gave is that of a sand castle, yeah? You build a sand castle near the beach. It doesn't last forever. It's going to go back into the ocean. It may come out, but may not have the same form. So today we are in a new section about prescribed duties of a Kshatriya. Why Krishna speaks about Kshatriya? Because Arjuna is a Kshatriya. So, anybody knows the meaning of the word Kshatriya? It's made up of two words, Chatra, Trayati. This makes the word Kshatriya. Chat means to get hurt. And Trayata means one who protects by getting hurt. Okay? Two words make one word. Chat Trayate makes the word Kshatriya. Though in English we pronounce as a Kshatriya, but the actual word is Kshatriya. Okay? And umbrella is also called Chat. You know, umbrella we carry? Chat. Chat means which protects us from rain or sunshine. So it's called Chat. Anyone who can protect you from getting hurt, a person who can give you protection is called a Kshatriya. Okay, so in the Varnashram system, the class of people whom in general we can call it as warriors, a warrior class, will protect the community or the whole society, especially Brahmanas, ladies, children, and elderly people. And the rest also. Hare Krishna.
Sorry, may I ask a question before you move on to the next section? It's related to the previous section.
Yes.
So, one of the verses where Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna that even if you don't believe in the existence of the soul, so some people misuse that and say, okay, we don't believe in the existence of the soul, so we can go on killing animals. Then if they ever come to hear about the other verse that says the soul cannot be killed, the soul cannot be put into fire, so then they can continue slaughtering. So how to avoid this misguided
Okay, no scripture in the world allows killing. In fact, today morning, Lavanga Prabhu, when he went out, some church people gave him a Bible. And he showed all the verses in the Bible. And even I was shocked that before this Noah of Ark incident, before that, everyone was a vegetarian. Everyone was a vegetarian because the verse is very clear that God created herbs and trees as meat for man. Now, trees do not create meat. Trees means fruits, vegetables, crops, all is for man or a human consumption. So, even Bible doesn't allow, even Quran doesn't allow, because it says unless you unless you sacrifice, then you may eat, but it has to be offered. That's why they use the word halal. Yeah, halal means sacrificed. So in other words, you cannot just go and buy meat. You have to sacrifice yourself, offer if you want to, and eat. Now if you go to Mahabharata, Bhimsen, imagine Bhima himself says, if you consider yourself to be Maitreya means a friend of all, never eat meat. Bhimsen himself is saying. So no scripture allows this, eating of. You show me, you can always challenge that, show a scripture where it says that you can have a slaughterhouse. Nowhere. Those who read Science of Self-Realization, I think there's a chapter, a conversation between Cardinal Daniel Du, in which this discussion is really strong. And Srila Prabhupada tells him that you say that animals have no soul. What about babies? Babies are also not intelligent. So can you kill babies and eat them? And he said, no, you can't eat them. So the logic means it doesn't make any sense that you can eat. And this verse which is there, that there was Vashikas and Bhashikas, what was the word? Just a few verses back we had read this verse, that even if you don't believe in the soul, still there is no reason of killing anyone. Because right now you have not killed anyone. And after that, if you think there is no life, so what is there to lament? It's gone. Is that okay, Mataji? Hare Krishna. Padmasaki? Who was asking the question? The line got cut over. Anyway. Okay, so now we go to text 31, okay? Now this is not a very big section. We may finish it today. It's a short section. Sadharma pi chavakshya navikam pitum arhasi dharmayadi yudachreyo Anyat Kshatriyasya na vidyate. Considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles. And so, there is no need for hesitation. Now, this verse is very clear. To fight on religious principles, not otherwise. You cannot just kill anyone. I think there was this student called Jaz. He asked this question about jihad, yeah? So it's very clear here. Unless it is based on scriptures, then you can fight to protect your religion, not otherwise. Okay, we can read the purport. Okay, you can stop there. Now see, there is a very important point Srila Prabhupada says. When an animal is slaughtered or killed for yajna, sacrifice, it gets promoted to become a human being. It does not have to undergo the process of evolutionary process of 8,400,000 species. He can take a human form. And if a Kshatriya is killed on a battlefield, then, or he kills someone on a battlefield, they all go to heaven. And even a Brahmin, if he performs sacrifice in which an animal is put in sacrifice, then that animal will attain the human form. Now elsewhere in the Vedas it is said that there are 5 acts forbidden in Kali Yuga. Now you should know we are in Kali Yuga. 4 or 5. Number 1, offering flesh to the ancestors. Number 1. Killing cows. Because formerly there were Brahmins who would kill a cow and a new calf would be born. We don't have such Brahmins. And this is an argument Srila Prabhupada also gives to Cardinal Daniel Du. The third one is taking up sannyas. In the age of Kali Yuga is not allowed. Formerly everybody would take sannyas, especially Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. And now those who are taking sannyas is only for preaching purposes, not otherwise. If you are not a preacher, don't take sannyas. If you can preach Krishna consciousness, take sannyas. The fourth one is to conceive a child in a younger brother's wife. Formerly, if a younger brother's wife, if the younger brother is not potent, then the elder brother would give Ruttadan. Ruttadan means can give a child to the younger, the wife of a younger brother. That is allowed. But in the age of Kali Yuga, not allowed. And the fifth one I keep forgetting. Anyway, these are the acts not allowed in Kali Yuga. So there is no question of offering flesh or slaughtering animals. Mataji Padmasaki, are you hearing? I think she's disconnected. So it's very clear. Any question in this section? Okay, next paragraph.
There are 2 kinds of swadharmas.
Okay, keep this word swa dharma. Swa means prescribed duty, without which you can't live. And there are 2 swadharmas. Okay, read. So we have 2 swadharmas. Now the first one is when you are not liberated. This is considered not liberated. This is considered liberated. If you are in a society, in a general society, a Vedic society is Varna and Ashrama. Everybody knows that, yeah? 4 Varnas, 4 Ashrama. So when you are in a Varnashram system, your Swadharma is to follow your prescribed duty. And if you are already on the path of liberation, then you live under the guidance of a spiritual master. Is that very clear now? One is Varnashram, one is other. So this is, in short, this is called Pravriti Marga. Pravriti Marga. And this is called Nivriti. Pravriti and Nivriti. Pravriti means when you are not liberated. Progressively you want to become liberated. Like following Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. This is accepting the spiritual master from the very beginning. Any questions? Yes, Madhusha. They actually went to the spiritual world because Krishna was there. Not in all battles, but specifically in the war of Mahabharata. Those who died because Krishna's presence was there, all went back home, back to God. So Prabhupada explains that earlier when Krishna was expansion, known as Parshuram, he killed many Kshatriyas, but they were not released. Their atmas or their souls were still there. Again they got together on the war of Mahabharata. They were all, their bodies were destroyed, they all went back home, back to God. You should note one thing, that only Krishna can give liberation, no one else. Krishna has a specific name, Mukunda. Mukunda. Mukunda means Mukund Data. Mukti Data comes the word Mukunda. One who can give moksha is called Mukunda. And no one can give Mukunda. Even Shiva cannot give. Even Brahma cannot give. Even Devi cannot give. Even Ganesh cannot give. But only Krishna can give.
I have a question.
Yes?
So, since most of us devotees are not yet on the liberated platform, does that mean that we fall under the category of...
Yes, this one. You may not be liberated now, but in the due course you will be liberated. This is the power of devotional service. Because devotional service is a purification process. For example, many of us start chanting. None of us can claim that from the very first day I was chanting very nicely. Can any one of us can claim like that? None of us. By the due course, if the practice goes on, abhyas, that chanting has so much power, it will purify you. Even the most sinful man, he takes up this shelter of the holy name, will become purified, and in the due course he'll become liberated. If you go to the 6th chapter, this question is asked in detail. Arjuna asks Krishna, what happens to a yogi who starts and gives up the process? And what happens to a yogi who has performed the process, but he gives up later on, even after going on for a long time? One is a short time, one is a long time. He says, one who gives up after a short time will be born in a aristocratic family, where there will be no shortage of anything, and he can continue his yoga. Bhakti is a yoga. And if that person has done it for a long time, And due to some reason or another, like for example, Bharat Maharaj, even Prabhupada himself, he says, me also. He says, after a long time, if you give it up, you'll be born in a family of Vaishnavas, devotees. So from the very birth, you engage in the service of Krishna. Okay, so it's a good question. Sometimes you may be initiated, but you are in need of money, and you cannot take money from Krishna, or especially from the temple. Temple is the abode of the Lord. So you will have to work. You may have to work as a Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or even a Sudra. But provided Krishna consciousness is the center of your life, then you are still on this path, Nivritti path. In the due course, you will be purified. And Krishna will make sure that you will give, in case the work is abominable, I am not saying good work, even abominable work, Krishna will free you from that. And he will take you to a work which is good for you. And then keep you back. Because Krishna is very, very merciful. He says, he is passing through some difficult time, he or she, whoever it is. And he'll adjust the life in such a way that he'll mold your life in such a way that you will think of Krishna more and become purified. Not between of the section. Let's say one is a devotee, if you are following the instructions of Prabhupada, for example, you are coming to ISKCON, you may not be initiated, it doesn't matter. But you're already accepting Prabhupada's instruction. Prabhupada is a Siksha Guru for whole of this ISKCON for 10,000 years. Remember that. If you are following Prabhupada's instruction, you still come in this category. You are safe, rather than the general mass of people. Even better than the Hindu community, I would say. You are here, you are safe. Okay? Text 32. Yes, Gideon. Shivloka does not mean you go to liberation. Even if you go to Lord Shiva, that is not liberation. Because there, you'll get a ghostly body, number one. You won't get a body which you can serve Krishna. So even if you are a worshipper of Lord Shiva, at the most you can go to Shiva. That is the maximum. Generally people don't even qualify for that. Because Lord Shiva is very pure. But Lord Shiva will make sure that somehow or other you will engage in the service of Lord Vishnu so that you can go to Vishnu Loka. There's a question asked by Mother Parvati to Lord Shiva, of all the worship, which is the best worship? And Mother Parvati says the highest worship is the worship of Lord Vishnu. But, he says, higher than the worship of Lord Vishnu is the worship of the devotees of Vishnu. So it's how you see Lord Shiva. If you see him as a demigod, then you go to Kailash. If you see Shiva as a pure devotee, and you'll go to, and worship him, which is not actually a necessity, but you may take his mercy, you'll go to Vaikuntha, no problem. Not forgetting the position of Lord Vishnu. You cannot equate Lord Shiva or Brahma or anyone on an equal platform with Lord Vishnu. It is an offense. Okay? But in due course, you will have to give it up. Because when he says Sarva Dharma Pradityaja, you will have to give up just to Krishna. In the beginning, it may be acceptable. But once you understand the greatness or supremacy of Krishna, you will give it up. Okay? 32. Yadrichaya chopamanam Swargadvara mapabratam Sukhina Kshatriya Partha Labante Yuddhamidasham. O Parth, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors of the heavenly planets. Madhushravan, please read the purport. Now, this is a very important point. Only if Arjun fights, he is getting two advantages. One is, if he lives, if he survives the battle, there is kingdom waiting for him. If he dies, heavens is waiting for him. This is advantage of it. But if he fights, if he runs away, then he will be called a fool. Not only a fool, he'll become a part of a laughing stock, which will be like death, which is explained later on. Okay? It's not a difficult purport. Text 33. Atha chetvam imam dharmyam. Sorry, there's a question. Yes?
Prabhuji, could you explain a bit what does it mean fighting based on religious principles? Because currently in the world situation we see countries fighting against each other, both kings being envious, but on the battlefield there are so many people being killed.
Yeah.
When would it be called fighting under religious principles for which they'll attain heaven?
Okay. Originally, Sri Prabhupada explains in the lecture, fighting on religious principles means if one Kshatriya show another Kshatriya not ruling properly, not following religious principle, you challenge that king, a battlefield will be chosen and the fight will go on. Not the way fighting goes on today. Today they just drop a bomb anywhere. They'll kill anyone. It cannot be called war of religious or based on religious principles. It is on basis of envy. That is not allowed. Okay, Mataji?
Yes, thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Okay.
So on the same matter of religious principle, we see a lot in the Gita and Krishna using the term religious principle. So are these principles recorded, or according to the purport, as there's this parasar smriti on religious code? Does it mean that these religious principles are basically just instructions given to you by your spiritual master, or what does
not a spiritual master? In some cases spiritual master, but in most cases the scriptures give you. In Vedas there is a section also called Rajaniti. Rajaniti means how to rule. And in that Rajaniti, all the instructions regarding how a Kshatriya should act is explained. Kshatriya cannot just go and fight. Prabhupada gives an explanation. A soldier can go and fight on the battlefield. He'll get awarded. When he comes home and he kills one man, he can be hanged. And there he may have killed hundreds and hundreds of them. No punishment. But if he kills one man when he's in a civil dress means in his, in his normal dress or in his normal duty, it is not allowed. Like in Kenya, many times an article comes in a newspaper, a drunk policeman killed someone. Then he will be punished. But the same policeman, on his duty to protect crime, if he kills someone, no punishment.
So, so far today we talked about religious principles guiding the management.
Varna and ashram, yeah.
The Kshatriya. So, are there religious principles guiding other ashram classes?
Yes.
For instance, now I am a musician, and sometimes I try to figure out, should I do music this way or this other way? And I'm guessing if there were religious principles to sort of guide me, it would be much easier. So are there religious principles guiding?
Yes, a nice question. There is guiding principle for everyone, each individual. Because each individual fall in one of these categories, either Brahminical, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Sudra. So you can be in any one of them and you'll get the guidance accordingly. Music actually comes from Lord Brahma, if you don't know. If you read Bhagavatam, there are 7 notes, Sa, Re, Ga, Ba, Pa, Da, Ni, Sha. I think in the Western world it is Do, Re, Mi, Sa, yeah, something like that. Now these notes comes from Lord Brahma. So actually the music is meant to be dedicated to Krishna, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the music, when it is dedicated to the pleasure of Krishna, then that music is beneficial. But if there is music for sense enjoyment, then it may be beneficial to some extent, but it is not really beneficial. There are people who play music in, let's say, in places of drinking, bars and places like that. That's not beneficial. Music is actually for the soul, really speaking, for the benefit of your own soul. Because music is very much, if it is a music which can help you in your spiritual life, like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, Sankirtan means to use Sankirtan. And because this is the way people in the age of Kali Yuga can be attracted. There's nothing wrong. Does it answer your question? All right. In Prabhupada's times, Prabhupada says, even if you don't have any musical instrument, you just clap and you chant Hare Krishna. If you have kartals, better. Then if you have mridanga or a drum, still better. These days they use harmonium. So anything can be used in the service of Krishna. But originally it's supposed to be mridanga and kartal. Mridanga represents Lord Balram, whose appearance day is today, or Nityanand. Kartal represents Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now if you want to know the meaning, why we use these two, Chanakya Pandit explains. He says, wake up, wake up you sleeping souls. Hear the glories of Radha and Krishna. This is the meaning of Kartal and Mridanga. Is it clear? Is there space? Okay. So now you understand why Kartal and Mridanga are Shastric. Shastra allows this. So when the sound of drum actually means that it is meant to awaken us. And you find that whenever drum is played, you can't sleep. You'll be awake. And when Kartal is played, your ears will become sharp. So this is Chanakya Pandit himself explaining this. And do you know who is the first Kirtaniya? Anybody? Huh? Yes, but still before that. No, music is produced from the heart of Brahma. Sa re ga ma pa da. Huh? Yes, but even before Narad Muni, actual Sankirtan, I'm saying. Narad Muni is eternal Kirtaniya, but he's always chanting on Veena. But there's someone else who is still better than that. He is very close to Krishna. Okay, yes, Vandadu. No. Yes, Lawrence, you were saying something. His mother, Yashoda, when she's churning the butter, the bangles, they're making sound like kartal. And when you churn the batter, manthan is called, the yogurt or the butter, it makes the sound like mridanga, and the katanga. So when she was singing, she did not know anyone except Krishna. And she was glorified Krishna in a daily mantra. So she is also considered the first Kirtaniya. Kirtan actually means not glorifying anyone else. For those who read Science of Self-Realization, Sri Prabhupada says, Kirtan, the word Sankirtan means complete glorification of Krishna. Complete glorification of Krishna. That is called Sankirtan. Okay? Okay, let's move forward. Text 33. Atha chetam idam dharmyam sangramam na karishyasi tata swadharmam kirtim cha hitva papam avapyashi. If, however, you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. Peter, can you read the next section? The last line is very important. If he doesn't fight, he's going to go to hell. That means whatever is your prescribed duty, you have to do it. I'll give you another example. Let's say you own one of the kiosks here. You know, you're the owner of the kiosk, and you refuse to open your kiosk for business. Who is suffering? Is it you or people? It is you who is going to suffer, because people will go to other kiosks, and you open your dukkha, but You're not doing your business. It means you're not performing your prescribed duty. A Brahmin who knows Vedic scriptures but he does not preach or does not practice, he is going to go to hell. You understand the meaning? The same way a Kshatriya, if he does not fight, when the fighting is there, he does not fight, he is going to go to hell. And that is what is going to happen to Arjuna. Not only that, he loses his reputation. And a Kshatriya with a bad reputation is very bad. Even a merchant with a bad reputation is very bad. If a merchant has a bad reputation, nobody will lend him money. Nobody will do business with him, however rich he may be. So bad name, in a Vedic society, bad name is really, really, really dangerous. You should not taint your good name. Chanakya Pandit says, a man lives not by food, but by kirti. Kirti means his honor. Honor means good name. So don't one should not spoil one's name. If you read Krishna book, there is a story of Shamantaka jewel. Shamantaka jewel, which was stolen by someone or taken away but the name came of Krishna, that he has done it. The whole blame came on Krishna, and Krishna had to go and find out who has taken this jewel, and he recovered the jewel. And then people realized, oh, it was not Krishna. Okay? Yeah.
Arjuna was a devotee, yes?
He's a Kshatriya and a devotee.
But we discussed earlier that a devotee does not necessarily have to strictly follow those Varnashram dharma.
Yes.
So how come is it because this was no longer falling under just being a Kshatriya, it's now a spiritual thing?
No, it's not like that. It's not that Arjun is a devotee, so he cannot act as a Kshatriya. In the Varnashram system, you have to act as a Kshatriya. Even we devotees, if there is a time to defend ourselves, to fight, it's not that it is not allowed. It is allowed. You have to protect yourself. You have to protect Krishna. You have to protect Krishna's devotees. So if you have a Kshatriya nature, you can act as a Kshatriya. Text 34. Akirtim chapi bhutani katha yishyanti te avyayam sambhavitasya chakritir maranad atirchyate. People will always speak of your infamy, and for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than that. Okay? Still Krishna is saying, Arjuna, don't go away, fight. Even if you have to die. Because you are my friend. Because if he runs away, he's also going to spoil the name of Krishna. Because Krishna is the charioteer of Arjuna. Text 35.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have a question on this part. Yeah. It says that people will always speak of your infamy. And, we always hear that, honor, dishonor doesn't really matter. But in this verse it says dishonor is worse than death. So for devotees, how should we understand this part that Krishna is instructing Arjuna that become famous by fighting this war? Okay, now in this case, we should know that this injunction is for the Varnashram system, number one. Number two, for a Kshatriya. If a Brahmin spoils his name, no problem. He will tolerate it, but a Kshatriya will not. Kshatriya class or a warrior class is a prestigious class. They will defend their name, their strength and everything. They will die rather than getting their name spoiled. It is said that even in the Mughal Empire, even in the British Empire, when they ruled India, they had seen this Kshatriya community, and a Kshatriya will say, kill me, but don't defame me. Is that okay, Padmasaki? Yes, thank you.
Now for a devotee, you should know minimum we are in a Brahmin class. That is our minimum quality. We fall in the category of Brahmanas. So you should try to remain Brahmanas as much as possible. And then
so for us, we should not consider honor, dishonor.
No.
It doesn't matter.
No, it does not matter. On a higher level in Krishna consciousness, honor, dishonor, heat, cold, gold, pebbles, it does not affect us. Yes, but if someone dishonors Krishna or dishonors a devotee of Krishna, then you should fight. Otherwise, you are going to get a reaction. You have to defend yourself either by arguing or by running away from there, or Prabhupada says, cut your tongue. Cut the tongue of the offender. 3 things. That you learn in the Vaishnava etiquette. It's okay? Text 35.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Someone was asking something?
No, asking the same question.
Okay. All right. 35. Bhayadrana uparatham mam shanti tvam maharata yeshantam bahumato bhutva yasya srilagavam. The great generals who have esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant. Okay, Samadashi. Oh, sorry. Jiva Goswami, please read. Now you should know Arjuna was very famous in those times. He was like not just famous in the world, but even famous in the heavens. Then you Arjuna is a very powerful warrior. And if he ran away, that would be terrible. It's not just suitable for him. I mean, it's not right for him. 36. Avachya vadamsya bahun vadishyanti tavahita nindantascha samarthyam tato dukhataram nukim. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful to you? This is not a difficult purport. 37. Hato va prapshashi swargam jitva va bokshashe mahim tasmad utishta kaunteya yudaya kirta nishchaya. O son of Kunti, either you'll be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you'll conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight. I'll read the purport, it's very one-line purport. Even though there was no certainty of victory for Arjuna's side, he still had to fight. For even being killed there, he would be elevated into the heavenly kingdoms. Text 38. Sukha dukhe samakritva labo jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujyashva naivam papam avashyashi. Do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat, and by so doing you will never incur sin. Samadarshi. Devashi bhutapta ninnam prithinam na kinkaro nayam rini nacharajan sarvatma ya sharanam sharanyam gato mukundam parihritya kartam. Read the translation. Yes, now I think this answers Padmasakhi's question. What is a devotee's life? So this was Devashi Bhutapta Nindam Pratina. You're not obliged to anyone once you become a devotee, but provided you become a devotee. Devotee means fully surrender to Krishna. That is the first qualification. Accepting Krishna all in all. And if you stay as a devotee means you should have a good bhajan sadhan. You are a devotee. Then you are not obliged to anyone. You're not obliged to demigods or pitrus, means ancestors, or anyone, because you are already in the service of Krishna. That is the meaning. 39.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
My question is on this part which says anyone who is completely surrendered unto Krishna, giving up all other duties. Sometimes people misunderstand this and do very quick renunciation of all other activities. So can you enlighten us a bit on what exactly it means, giving up all other duties?
Yes, it says that there's a verse which is coming very, very soon. Very close, in which it says that what is the use of performing a prescribed duty, and then if you don't surrender to Krishna? And what is the harm if you surrender to Krishna, even unqualified? If you fully surrender to Krishna, you're going to get all the benefit. So it's better to take the path of Krishna consciousness than to struggle in your prescribed duties. Sometimes you may have to do your prescribed duties, especially if you're in a society, you're a married person or something like that, you'll have to do your prescribed duties. But when you are fully surrendered to Krishna, then even if you don't do it properly, your Krishna consciousness, still there's no harm. This verse is coming up in the text 40-41. This will be explained more in detail. Okay, Mataji?
May I ask another question?
Yes.
It's in relation to this one where Krishna says that if you fight on the battlefield, you attain the heavenly planets. So there is something beyond the heavenly planets. But why is it as if the heavenly planets is like the top, the prize of the battlefield winners? Why is it only that it's limited to the heavenly planets and not beyond that?
Why does it say Swarga, yeah? Is that your question?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Swarga means for the Varnashram system, if you follow your Varnashram system, you're going to go to what you call Swarga, heavenly planets. But if you perform Krishna consciousness, then you go to Vaikuntha. That will be explained later on. But for the time being, this particular section, this is the last verse we read for the Kshatriyas, prescribed duty for Kshatriyas, for them, heavens is there. Even for the Brahmins, not just Kshatriyas. So at least one has an idea that even if you follow your prescribed duty properly, at the most you go to Swarga. You can't go to Krishna. So if I were to ask you which Swadharma is better, is this Pravatik Marg is better or the Nivritti Marg? Now this is my question to you. Which is better? Should you follow one ashram system or should you follow the path of Krishna consciousness? How would you answer that?
Krishna consciousness.
Yes. Krishna consciousness is so good that even if you follow only 2%, you still are safe. Whereas the path of Pravati is not safe. This will be explained in detail in verses number 40 onwards, 40-41. Okay? Hare Krishna. Yes, Richa.
So as I've been noticing that Krishna is giving a lot of Vedic instructions on how a devotee or a person's character should be as a human. So there are so many guidelines that he's given, which are again very tough to follow in this material world, especially in the age of Kali.
Like which one? Any example?
Like the way he says that one should renounce everything. It's very hard for someone to renounce everything in Kali because you're supposed.
Why does he say that?
Like you're supposed to take care of so many duties that you have.
Yeah, but where does he say renounce everything? You show me the verse.
Like here he's saying that completely surrender unto Krishna.
Yeah, that does not mean you renounce everything. Surrender does not mean you renounce everything. Does it mean like that?
Like giving up all other duties.
Yes, if you are fully surrendered to Krishna, and even if you have to give up all your duties, there is no harm. That is the meaning. Understand?
Yeah.
But you should be able to accept the process, even if it is difficult, when you are fully surrendered. In other words, to become even a full-time devotee is not easy. You have to learn a lot of tolerance. If you are ready to live like a monk, then ready. Like Haridas Thakur, when he preached to this prostitute, he told the prostitute, go home, distribute your wealth to all the people, especially give to the Brahmanas. She was a wealthy prostitute. Then go and shave your head and come back. Which lady will do that? Dressed in a single sari, white sari, come. But she did it because fully surrendered to Krishna. Then she was told, chant Hare Krishna here near the Tulsi for the rest of your life. And Haridas Thakur leaves that place. And she could also chant 300,000 times, just like Haridas Thakur. And she became a celebrated Vaishnava. People treated her, who was a prostitute, become like a spiritual master. Imagine such a big change. But then who was the person who gave the mercy? Haridas Thakur. Okay? All right. So time is up. We'll meet the next Sunday. We've finished this section already, okay? This section finished in verse 38. These are all prescribed duties for a Kshatriya. Now we are going to the new section. So when you go home, I want you to read 39 in detail. It's a long purport, which is going to explain to you how any prescribed duty can be used for the service of Krishna. Then we'll move forward, okay? And write some sentences of the duties of a Kshatriya. Will you be able to do that? Or write some sentences, or if you have an example of a Kshatriya, even in the modern history, you can write his name and come with it the next Sunday. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. We request everyone to join up at the temple. This is the last day of Javad Yatra. Hare Krishna.